problem from Leetcode may challenge. The problem is check if it is a straight line. So the problem says we have a list of coordinates and of a point, and we want to check if this point make a straight line. So and yeah, we get a list of points and we want to return true if they form a straight line, and we want to return false if they don't. I think this could use straightforward formula here for the slope of a line, where it's if you have 2 points on a line, let's say you have x1, y1, and then we have x2, y2, y2, x2 here. Then what we'll do is we will just say the slope is actually x1, x2 minus x1 divided by y2 minus y1. So this would be the slope here, and so all the points on the same line will have the same slope. So we'll just need to compute the slope, I think, for the 2 first coordinates, and then check that the other points, if we zip every 2 points together, have the same slope, and that should be enough, I think, here. So let's just define a function that calculates the slope here. So what I need here is slope of 2 things, two coordinates, let's call them c1 and c2. And here I will just extract the coordinates, which are x1, y1, x2, y2. So these are just c1, c2. Next step would be to return the slope there. There's just one problem here. Actually, I think it's this. So basically, slope of 2 points. Yep. So it's the difference between the y coordinates divided by the difference between the x coordinates. Yep. Okay, so here there is just one problem, which is if this value here, the denominator is 0, then we have a problem. So we can just return 0 at that point for that case. So 0 if x2 minus x1 equal to 0, else we want to return the division, essentially. So that would be y2 minus my y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Right? The next, after that, we will need to go through all the coordinates, and to do that, I'm just going to zip here, which associate every 2 points together. So that will be coordinates and coordinates, skipping the first one, so that every point gets zipped with the one next to it. There's just one thing here I could do, is not recalculate for the 2 first coordinates, but I think that's fine. So the slope should be the same for all of them. So for the first 2 coordinates, that will be coordinate 0 and coordinates 1. 1. And now we need to check if any of them is different. If any slope of 2 points, let's say c1, c2 here, is different than the slope of the 2 original points, then we have a problem. They are not on the same line, so we return false. If we don't find any, we can return true. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it should be true, capital letters. Okay. Okay. Now I need to, yeah, so let's submit this and see if it passes. Okay, so that's accepted, cool. There is just one small improvement that we can do here. This return false and all that, we could just use all. We want all of them to have the same slope. So we could just say all have the same slope, so equal. And for these coordinates. And that will give us true if all of them have the same slope and false if not. So we could just simplify that. Okay, let's submit. Okay, so that's accepted. We could also, I think we could do this, like start from the second one if there is one, and start from the third one here, but that will mean that we need to handle different use cases, like when the coordinates has only 2 elements, we will need to special case that. So I think this is good enough, so let's just leave it at this. Yeah, so basically the idea is just calculate the slope of the 2 first point and just make sure that the other points have the same slope. If we find any points that, or any 2 points that don't have the same slope, then we can say they are not on the same line. Yeah, that's it for this problem.